I have like a bad taste in my mouth from that whole world, just because like I've done a lot of like short documentaries like you have, not recently, but when I did, like I would have production companies calling me, or like, you know, production companies that have deals with whatever network it is. And they're like, hey, we like that. Are you working on anything else similar to that? I just feel like they're fucking real estate brokers, you know, calling me just trying to make some money on something cool. And it's the same thing with podcasts. Yeah. A lot of there's like executives working at production companies just scouring podcasts, trying to find somebody to do a show to sell to Netflix. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just feels just like a fucking,
it's gross.
A car dealership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's pretty gross. Yeah.
Gross. That's a good word for it.
Yeah, it's the
maybe
idea.
I'm just bitter because I've never put a documentary on Netflix.
It's just sort of, it's treating it, you know, like disposable, like consumer goods, you know, like just thinking of it as content as opposed to a story. And
yeah. And anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but doing this was cool because it was like doing the documentary. Yeah. But it takes, instead of 3 years, it takes 3 hours. Yeah. And I don't have to shoot any B-roll or add any music to it. Yeah.
And,
you know what I mean?
And also, yeah, you've made what, how many?
Right, exactly. Yeah. You can make hundreds of them.
Yeah.
In a year. Yeah. You know, not 1 in 3 years.
And
what's that?
The camera was catching your shoulder.
Is it good now?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, cool.
And also, you know, pitching to someone, hey, come into my studio for a few hours is a lot easier for them to say yes to than I'm going to be with you for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of your life now.
Yeah, but you don't have to tell them that in the beginning.
True.
You just be like, hey, can I come to you and film for a day or whatever? And then once they get to meet you, I'm sure it's easier for them to let you come back. Yeah. Like with David.
And so, well, I mean, what about you with all the guests that you've had and all of their stories? Have you changed your mind on things or changed your beliefs on anything?
Like, as far as what? Like, what do you mean?
Anything. Like, have you, like, any beliefs that you had held that have now?
Not really. I haven't really changed any of my beliefs. I don't know. I don't really have very many, like, beliefs that you could probably change for me. I'm more of just, like, open to learning. I've learned a lot. I could say that. I've learned a lot of things. I've gotten better at, like, before I started doing this, like, I was similar to you. I would just go out and film something interesting, let the camera roll, and I would just try to, like, package it into something like a cool music video that was weird to watch. You know what I mean? And now it's sort of like, now I have to talk and, like, carry a conversation that's not edited. Yeah. So it's more of just me, like, building a skill and, like, learning, like, having discipline. Right. You know what I mean? To do, like, I make sure I do at least 1 or 2 of these a week, and, you know, you get better at certain things. I'm learning a lot. I always, like, kind of like, I have this, like, inner war going on whether I should just do these or go make more documentaries, because the documentaries are much more fun to watch than fucking a podcast. Yeah. You know? But well,
what about when you see owls now, though?
Oh, I don't see owls. I never see owls. Aliens don't want anything to do with me.
Are there even owls in Tampa?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a few. My mom has owls. My mom sees owls all the time in her backyard. Okay. She has these little tiny owls. So my mom might have some sort of connection to aliens. Yeah. But no, I don't know. I'm like, I love having the conversations. Sure. I don't think I could say I don't want to say the guy's full of shit. You know, he could totally, everything he's saying could be real to him. But, you know, I don't really think about it that much after the conversation either. Like, once we do the podcast, I don't dwell on it and, like, and think about it a lot. I just kind of, like, I remember the conversation. I remember, like, the important parts of it. I try to retain as much of it I can as I can, and try to carry it into, like, more conversations so I can just keep, like, learning more and so on and so forth, and just keep having, like, better conversations. I try to treat these like documentaries. I try to treat these like little mini documentaries as best I possibly can. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You've had such a wild group of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just look at the list.
I know, nothing's consistent. It's not very consistent at all, especially when I'm trying to, like, pitch, like, a legitimate person on here who's not, like, into any of, like, the crazy fringe ideas, cultures. Right. You know what I mean? There's one guy I had on here who's he's a doctor, like a nutritional doctor, scientist. And then, typically when I try to reach out to people, I should show my credibility. Look, I've interviewed.
Yeah.
Well, put aside, they're all criminals and conspiracy theorists. So it's it gets weird sometimes when you're trying to talk to new people.
Yeah, that's happened to me as well. Like with
Really?
work, where they'll go look on my website and be like, "Oh, you interview wackos."
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not gonna be in your film.
Yeah, the consistency is the biggest thing for me. It's just trying to remain consistent to it. And there's a book about it too that I really like. I forget, the name is escaping. The War of Art.
Okay.
Have you heard of that book?
No, I haven't.
It's all about the guy's name is Stephen. His last name's escaping me. Anyways, it's about, he's a writer, and he just talks about like confronting the muse. You know what I mean? Confronting resistance, right? Like the muse is a thing you get all your creativity from and like flows through you, and just your connection with your creativity is hindered by resistance. Resistance can be anything, whether it be like eating or checking your emails, going on your phone, playing video games, watching movies or whatever. And it's like the resistance is the one thing that stands in the way of you and the muse. So like every single day, if you're a creative person, the last thing you want to do is like get up and go to work in the morning every day at the same time and have a routine. Mm-hmm. So his whole thing is, always sit down every day and do your work, whether you feel good or bad or creative or dry. Always sit down and, put in the time every single day. And that's what you have to do. That's what creativity is being consistent and being disciplined in putting the time into your craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was never like that before. I would just be like, I have to be inspired to do something. So even when you're not inspired, when you don't feel that calling, that pull, you know what I mean? When you don't feel that, still sit down and push. So that's what I gained. I made the connections between doing this and that book.
Yeah, I mean that's always been my problem, and it's still my biggest problem is not forcing myself or disciplining myself to work. I have to be excited, and then that's why things take years.
Yeah,
to finish,
the resistance fucks you up, man.
Yeah.
The resistance, you'll grow old and fucking look back and just be like, God damn.
Yeah.
I also feel like sometimes looking back, like in my early to mid 20s, like that was like, be like, man, that was the most creative time of my life. Like, so I'm like made some of the coolest shit or did some of like the coolest shit I ever did. And I always wonder if that sort of like connection to the muse, whatever you want to call it, better. If that dwindles the older you get, you know what I mean? Your connection gets worse and worse and worse. The reception goes down.
I mean, even Hunter S. Thompson, I don't know if you've ever seen he had a schedule. He like his sort of daily schedule, and even, which included all the drugs that he would consume. Yeah. But even he had this set block of time where he would write, no matter what.
Really?
Yeah. And no matter how fucked up he was, he would sit and write. Yeah. Huh. And it would end up being at like, midnight or 3 a.m. or something. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually, he's fascinating. I've been wanting to like go down the rabbit hole of his story and his documentaries. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. He was a fan of Florida.
Was he?
I think he spent some time in the Keys.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, the Keys. Have you ever been to the Keys? You're going there right now,
I'm
aren't
going
you?
there tomorrow, yeah, for a month.
What are you doing there?
I got invited to an artist's residency. So basically they give me an apartment and a studio and like a bicycle and for a month, and like it's just a space for me to work on whatever without what I want to work on without any distractions of like home. Really? And family and yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna like write, work on a movie, like a screenplay idea, work on these docs, like researching, editing. Yeah, I'm writing a podcast episode for the QAnon Anonymous guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Mount Shasta about the the Teal Express story. So just work on all of that, or not, or just.
Are there? I've never listened to their podcast. Is it like one of those produced podcasts with like music and editing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love those podcasts.
Yeah. They have,
and they're like serialized, right? Like they tell stories like through episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes they'll be multi-parts, but actually usually it's just like they'll get into some character in the conspiracy verse, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, those podcasts are awesome.
Yeah, but they focus. It's just conspiracy theories.
Those